First job, quick stop off at Signs Express so I can get them stickers put on the sills that say Hocus Pocus rather than Ice Bear Racing. Morning all. You find me in the gazebo. We're at USC. We're 40 minutes away from going. Car's ready. Everyone's here. Pits are filling up. There's going to be a lot of PBs this weekend, I can feel it. A few 9s, a few 8s. Everybody's here. The smell of weed is in the air. It is USC after all. Yeah, it stinks of the stuff here. So we're signed on, ready to go. Nice chilled out evening yesterday evening, it being Thursday. Sat around chatting, nice and easy. So we're about 40 minutes away from qualifying number 1. No changes to the car since door slammers other than the gearbox rebuild. So I've had new synchros put in 2nd, 3rd and 4th gear, and a little minor change to the diff just to make it last a bit longer, you know. Not that it was any problem, but you know, it is what it is. So we're hoping we can change the gear a bit quicker, and we're hoping we can be back in the 10s. Because those low 11s and 11.0's, that's just not right, is it? And I've only done 10 once. Is it really a 10-second car? So we need to do a few this weekend, just to cement a place in there, don't we? Right, so next up, qualifying number 1. We'll see you on the car.
2,000 years later.
Well, so much for that. It's done nothing but rain since we got cold, and we all put the suits on, and then it started raining. And it's still raining, and it is now, what time is it now? 1 o'clock. It's due to stop raining at 2 on the radar. We shall see, because it takes them a while to dry the track after that, so looks like we'll probably get only the after tea run today. We'll see what happens.
Another one. Another one. Another one.
Get on battling! All four! Well me! 6 months since I got all 4 gears!
Right, who's ready for race cars, ladies and gentlemen? I know I am. It is time for the Sports Compact Shootout here at Santa Pod Raceway at Ultimate Streetcar. Thank you very much, Nitro FM, for having that lined up, perfectly timed. And of course, Martin and Natalia, if you're out there, don't forget, Mr. Blackett will have snapped some photos as well. But it is time to get to business. We have 26 cars currently fighting it out for over £1,000. I'm going to put my phone in the window. I'm going to say good afternoon to everybody who is watching on the live stream, be it our YouTube channel or our Facebook page. Hopefully you've had a wonderful Friday, you've finished work, and you join us in time for racing. Right, Alan Kenyon with the Hocus Pocus Focus, looking to go deeper into the 10s. Unfortunately, George didn't have the launch that he wanted. Alan Kenyon goes 11.36, and George Baker goes 14.44.
Now then, so very excited to get all 4 gears, first time of asking. Happy with that. Short shifted in first, so ended up with basically no boost through second until it got to 6,000 revs, and it was all over and done with. And then third and fourth were all right, sort of boost wise. Didn't do any limiter bashing, which is always good news for me, so I'm a fan of that. So basically the problem is I'm reacting to the shift light. So obviously if you get wheel spin, your engine's revving, so it's going to climb in RPM, and I'm just going to hit down. I'm going to see the shift light go change, and that's too soon. The rear wheel speed was at 27 miles an hour when I changed to second. So the engine RPM dropped to like 4 and a bit at the start of second, and therefore there's no boost there, so it just and then pulls on. So we've made a couple of changes with time-based compensations and things like that, so it's going to retard the ignition a bit to slow down the engine RPM up to the limiter to hopefully get me out further down the track before I change gear, to therefore get rear wheel speed up. So when I do change to second, we're at higher RPM, we got boost sooner, therefore we go quicker overall. Yeah, so happy with that. And I'm going to try and change gear a little bit quicker, and hopefully that first gear changes make some bit of a difference, and we'll go from there. I mean, it's been a day of waiting. The time is now 5:53 p.m. and that was the first run of the day. We've been waiting since 11 with all the constant rain. Then at 4 o'clock we were told we were going to go, and then we got a few clouds come over, and it's like, oh, okay. So then we waited till 4:45, and then we were taken to the head of the lanes, and they said, oh yeah, hang on 15 minutes, we're going to run jet car. Like, right. so we had the first run at what? I was the first pair. Me and George were first down the track for the shootout stuff after the jet car, and that'd have been what, R5, maybe a touch before. So I don't know if we'll get another today. I'm about to take my race suit off because I'm sweating. So if we get another run, we'll see that. If not, then it'll be on to Saturday morning. Although before that, we might get up to Summit Friday night. Who knows? And then okay. Most of you are going to know who this person is, right? This is Mrs. Boost, aka Rachel, right? And it's all her fault. I was quite happy, just milling around the pits, getting early night Friday, but no, Mrs. Boost wanted to go to the dance tent. Managed to talk me into it. I know, I was weak. In a moment of weakness, I agreed. Went to the dance tent. Had a couple of drinks, which is not something I normally do. And had a blast. However, I am very disappointed in you, Rachel. You are watching, I'm sure you are. You went home early. That's not on, because I ended up there reliving my youth with Flip and Fill and Entrance until 1 in the morning. And I am still croaky with it now, as you can probably hear. And it's all your fault. Alright, that's enough of that. Let's get back to the action. It might be 40, or nearly, for most of us, but it's still not about it. No, this is going to end badly. Morning all. Dance tent was taking it out of me. Croaky voice. Singing my heart out to Flip and Fill an Entrance. I need to stop really at 40 now. Shouldn't be doing that shit, but hey ho, did it. Enjoyed it. Just paying for it now.
You just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Still, we're up for Q1 shortly. Graham modified the time-based compensations yesterday for a bit more ignition retard rather than ignition cut, so timing retard rather than ignition cut, sorry. Hopefully it builds a bit of boost, so there's a bit there for second and it gets me out further to a higher road speed. So we'll see how that gets on. And then, so fingers crossed for that. Hopefully we'll be back in the 10s. That's the goal, isn't it? Yeah, so we'll see.
Dead? Oh, what's it called?
11.03, 122 miles an hour.
This is great to watch. These are like the first cars out.
These
And we
are
had
the first cars out.
This is great. And we had such poor weather yesterday, and these cars are racking up PBs straight out of the box at testament to the guys that have prepped the track this morning that we witnessed.
This is the reason we have them out early in the morning, because the track has been swept by Ian and prepped since like 7 o'clock this morning. It's had a fresh layer of glue. And now the cars are out first thing. Number one, to draw everyone into the grandstands. But number two, just to put on a show. Right, two 10-second capable vehicles on the start line. Jake Tippin with the 1.9 litre TDI Caddy van. And Alan Kenyon with the Hocus Pocus Focus. Alan ran yesterday into the 11s. He wants to get that into the 10s. Because I'm going to be honest, you need to have a 10-second car to be a little bit confident about qualifying today.
Yeah, to be competitive. These front-wheel drive classes are particularly fast now.
11.04 at 136 for Al, and a...
Alright, Q2 done. 11.04 at 136. Personal best 60 foot of 162. So we're really getting there now with that 64. That is... I'm happy with that. That's good. I can live with that all day for it's dropping boost a bit too much on the gear changes though. See, even though I'm back on the throttle at 5,500 revs, whether it's thin air, with it being summer or what, I'm not entirely sure. Oh mate, how are you doing? Old customers, I can't go anywhere without seeing customers, it's crazy. Yeah, so it's even though I was back on the throttle at 5,500 revs, it was only like 7-8 pounds of boost. We needed a bit more to pull through a bit quicker. So Graham's adjusted a bit of the duty cycle for sort of like 500 RPM range to try and really force it on, and then it can carry on as normal. So yeah, gear change is going well. 60 foot was banging. 11.04, so 400s off a 10. So it's like, you know, a breath of wind in the right direction would have been it. I mean, extra pound of boost in fourth gear would have been it or something. You know, it was tiny amounts. So yeah, but I'll cut to the data log now, and I'll show you what I'm on about. Right, here we are with the data log. So this is from run 2 of USC. Alright, made me pointing nice and big and green so you can see it. Dark green line here, engine RPM. Orange line, throttle. Reddish colour is boost. Now this blue line, this is O2 correction. The higher that line goes up, the more fuel the ECU is adding in, based on what it reads from the Lambda sensor. Okay, and that should be flat, but I'll get to that. This red line in the middle is the clutch. As you see, clutch slipper slipping it out, and then bang, bang, and bang. These spiky greens are rev limiter. And then this smoother, darker green line is generic duty cycle, which is the boost controller. Now, these two at the bottom is front and rear wheel speed. So you see the orange one is the front wheel speed, and the green one is the rear wheel speed. Yeah, so anytime that orange one goes above the green one, fronts are spinning compared to the rears. All right. So here we are. This line here. This is obviously, we've been back on the throttle for a split second. We're talking, you know, a tenth, maybe not even a tenth of a second. Clutch is out at the bottom, it's fully engaged, and we're at 5,484 RPM. Okay, 7.89 pounds of boost. And at 48% duty cycle. 43 mile an hour. Okay. But this here, this 7.89 pounds of boost, and how long it takes, we don't get to full 30 pounds until, that's 27 pounds, that's 29.26. 7,200 RPM before we get 30 pounds of boost. And then, as we can see in the middle section here, we're about to hit red line and start pulling ignition, ready for gear change. So it's like we're getting, what's one of these gaps? Half a second of 30 pounds of boost is all we're getting in second gear. And then third gear, right there, 5,400 RPM, 8 pounds of boost. And clutch is all the way out. We're at 66 miles an hour now, 58% duty cycle now. So we're now asking for a bit more. We're at 8 pounds of boost. And then, although third gear is taller, obviously, we're in it for longer. So we get proper boost at 6,500 pulling all the way through. So it tails off a bit. But Graham will have caught that and tapped a bit of duty cycle here for the next one. And then again, clutch, and then away we go again. So again, same point in fourth gear, 8 pounds of boost. And then by the time we're at 6,300, 36 pounds of boost, away we go, and it tails off to 33 pounds of boost at the end. But if we look here, for some reason, we're adding in 36% of correction, fuel correction. It's adding in on top of the map that was built, that was fine and perfect. You know, Gordon did it. It wasn't done by some dickhead. It was done properly. It's adding in, the ECU is adding in 36% of fuel, which we've since looked on the map and correlated this. Where we should be, if you add 36% on, that is the amount of fuel needed for 46 pounds of boost. So there's something off. Fuel pressure is fine, which we'll have that in here. Where is it? Fuel pressure. Bang. Fuel pressure is fine. Rises with boost. It's flatlined across. It's not a fuel pump problem, obviously, and it's therefore not a fuel filter problem. There might be some shit in the injectors blocking them up or something, or blocking one of them up, maybe, which would make it a bit lazier here, being all rich and stuff. Because if it's one injector that's partially blocked, it'll apply that to all injectors and make 3 cylinders rich and 1 right. So it could be. Who knows? So yeah, but when we compare that to the PB run, the unicorn one, as I'm now liking to call it, the 1085 back in April, I do this here and come to the same point where the clutch is out here. This jump is where the clutch switch messes with the signal for the rear wheel speed. So that's when the clutch goes back in, and we're at 20 pounds of boost, 5,600 RPM. However, this is a unicorn pass, and I dare say I could probably never do this again, because when I go back on the throttle, which is right here, back to 100%, clutch is still in. I shouldn't have done that. It worked in my favour, but I should not have done that. Because basically I've slipped the clutch out into second, which has built all that boost. Because even when I look at these other gears here, we're at 10 pounds of boost when I get into third at 5,500 RPM. And then 5, 6 there, we're at 13 pounds of boost. So it still is better. And it's a lot closer to what it is now at USC. So I think that by the time we work this fuel correction thing out and find out what's causing it, we'll be back to this and here. We won't see this again, because hopefully I'm not leaving me pressing the throttle here when the clutch is still in. Which I shouldn't have done that anyway. So yeah, that's what we're fighting. That's what we're trying to do. What we're trying to overcome. We need to get this boost higher before that. Oh, on to the next bit.
I hope my in-car's catching that.
Now we're doing handstands now. You missed it.
Okay, so we've just done Q3, 11.26, 11.36, something like that, 136 mile an hour, 172 60 foot this time, so we lost a tenth in the 60. And it's bogging when I change gear, even though I'm changing gear quick enough to still be at 5,500 revs after the gear change. It's taking forever to build the boost in second, so what we tried before hasn't worked as well as we'd like, if at all. But you know, you've got to try these things. So now we're trying the next thing on the list, which is up in the RPM. So now we're going to rev to 8,400 rather than 8,000. I mean, it's built the same as Terry's Van Dien's Fiesta, so they can do 8,800, 9,000 if need be. So 8.4 shouldn't be too bad. So yeah, we're going to try that. Hopefully it doesn't. It just gets back into boost better after the gear change, you know. All of this will not be a problem next year once the new gearbox is built, but for the rest of this year, it's a bit of an issue. And I want to be back in the 10s. A bit pissed off now that it's not just done at 10 already. But we've got another qualifier today, 5:30, and then we're into eliminations tomorrow, assuming I qualify. But if I don't qualify, I dare say they'll let us follow them out for a test run. So we'll see what happens. So yeah, I'm gonna get out my race suit now, all sweaty, and then we'll try 8,400 RPM later. Sound right fucking spicy, that almost like a Honda.
Next up, it is Alan Kenyon. So Alan's on the outside looking in. He's currently not qualified. He's currently 20th. He needs a PB. It's got to be a 10-second run to get in the shootout tomorrow. But the speed does not say so. It's going to be an 11. 11.06, 138, his best run of the day. But unfortunately, no improvement for him.
Okay, Q4 is in the books. That was in 11.06 at 138, so the mile an hour's back. That does not qualify us for the top 16, but I am 4th alternate, so I qualified 20 out of 25. What we expected, really. I mean, it would like to have been a 10, high 10, but it had to be a 10.5 to get in the dance, so I probably wouldn't have made that anyway, even with a PB, you know. So, but Graham's been poring over the data logs, and the ECU has been adding 40% of fuel everywhere for seemingly no reason. So that's a bit different. So I've put my spare lambda sensor in to see if it's just a faulty lambda sensor, although that is new for this event. So it seems very strange why it's doing that, but that would explain why it's so lazy coming on boost, because it's just killing it by dumping a load of fuel in. It's putting the equivalent amount of fuel in for 46 psi of boost, and we're 10 psi below that, and that's only at the start of the run. At the end of the run it's 34 pounds, so it's like, or end of the gear I should say, so it's like it shouldn't be doing that. So we've added in the new lambda sensor. We'll try that this first run, and hopefully that brings it back to life a bit, because we've looked over the data logs from the PB, and at the same RPM that I'm changing gear to, so after I've changed the gear, the RPM is at 5,500 roughly, but it was at 17 pounds a boost back in April, and now it's at like 7 or 8. So it's a noticeable difference, obviously. So we'll see how that gets on, and we'll report back then. See you tomorrow. Either a boost pipe or I don't think it's the inlet, just they're not over revving or anything. So I think we've lost the boost pipe.
That little micro, the 60 foot on it, a 166. It's just because it's so light. Billy's out in front. That's Billy.
That's a close race.
Oh, 1067, 131. Really good run for Jake Tippin. And then our final pairing from the Sports Compact Shootout. Of course, anyone who is eliminated in Sports Compact Shootout will be coming down and joining the Run What You Brung crew, trying to get some more runs throughout the day. Alan Kenyon would love to get a 10-second pass on the board today. He's going to be taking on Mohammed Munir. Well, Alan grabs that second gear. He's wiggling. Mohammed is doing his best to keep up.
He's cool.
Side by side, 11.57 and a 10.85.
What a bastard. Reasonable 60 foot, wasn't at best, but at 171, par for the course for me. PB 8th mile, PB mile an hour in the 8th at 101. Into 4, just starts ripping and then tush! It is just a boost pipe, so that can go fuck itself. We'll try and find a bit of super glue or something, and that usually helps them a little bit. And yeah, we'll go from there. Put that back on and try and get another run in and get this fucking 10. Jesus. Oh, dejected is not the fucking word, but we'll keep trying. We ain't no fucking quitting bitches, are we? Alright, onwards and upwards. We'll get the boost pipe on and try again. Still bummed out about the boost pipe. However, it's better than it was before with the fueling thing and it being laggy and getting back on boost. The new sensor has changed things. It's not putting anything like as much fuel in as it was. Still putting a bit in, but nothing like what it was. So I'm fairly convinced that's all right. Although now Graham has come up with an idea. Basically, we're going to use the pop and bang feature. So I'm turning into the ultimate Charles at Ultimate Street Car. So I'm going to fit right in. So we turn pop and bang on. on the clutch switch, so it won't affect the two-step. It'll just be if I'm over 6,000 RPM and I put the clutch in, so as in at a gear change at like 8,000 RPM, for a maximum of a second, it pulls a bit of time and pulls a bit of ignition cut and pops and bangs and spins the turbo up as like a backdoor anti-lag, because I haven't got an idle air control valve to do like some traditional anti-lag. So we're going to try that. We tested it here in the car park and it seems to work fine. Yeah, so we're going to try that for the next run in about an hour's time. And then if we get any more than that, I don't know, but it has gone very dull. It was very shiny and sunny before. It's gone very dull and very dark all of a sudden. There's some clouds blowing over, so whether there's any rain in them or not, I don't know. So hopefully we'll get one more, and then hopefully that'll be the 10. Fingers crossed, everybody.
Can't reach him.
Drive a car, I use it on the road, and we go to work in it. And now you have a 9-second car.
Well, the missus has a 9-second car.
The missus has a 9-second car. Does that mean you won't get to drive anymore?
No, my time's done now with the car.
So, of course, we were saying next weekend she's going to be back here for our Saturday night special.
Correct, yeah. The car is suffering from a tight converter, so we've ordered a loose converter. That'll help her to build a bit more boost on the line, so she should be running consecutive 9s next week.
Right, Simon Fogg doing 113 of the 8th. This should be a 9-second pass. Is a 995, 144. Alan Kenyon goes 1261. Simon Fogg has got...
Right, so turn the pop and bang job on. Bit of a clusterfuck at the start, as you've seen. Tell me to turn it off, and then I just get strapped in after the rain and the delays, and there's another delay of an oil down. Unfortunately, Matt Davidson threw a rod out, so got a bit of a clean up, and then got myself strapped back in when they told to go, and then I can't reach the fecking kill switch, so it was off, so I had to unbuckle, turn that back on, then rebuckle, and then get my helmet on, and then fucking... So then the cold foggy on his own was like, you know, because I wasn't looking like I was ready. So I fired up, got down there, but I didn't put my gloves on because it takes forever to put on. And then rolls into the burnout box, and the man's like, gloves, fuck. Then I can't reach them, so down on the floor. So Graham came in and threw them at me and what have you. Quick burnout, and then stage and off we go. And as we've seen, I didn't try it in the first and second. Third to fourth, I thought, right, leaving my foot down. Managed to leave it down, rammed it in the gear, went in the gear, did what it was meant to do. As since then on the data log, we came back into fourth gear at like £30 a boost, which is fucking perfect. It's exactly what we wanted to do. However, we'd left the ramp in from previous runs, so it was 90, then it hit 90% duty cycle on the boost control, so we gave it all the boost and then boost cut, and then that was it. Okay, flat foot shifting times. Oh, this could have been so good. Right, same as before. Dark green is RPM, orange at the top is throttle, this burgundy is boost, and this blue is the fuel corrections. Red is clutch, green is fuel pressure, so that's fine. Down here we've got orange is front wheel speed, green is rear wheel speed. Now this is messy because there's some sort of earthing issue with the clutch switch. Every time I press it, it fucks that around. But we don't really use it for anything, so it's fine. But and you can see in the gears here, it's working fine once the clutch is out and rolling. Now, as we can see, first gear, 8,100, ended at £20 a boost. Came back in, sort of 5,000 RPM, £11 a boost. That was already a little bit better after what this. Basically, it hit at this point. Where is it? Generic duty cycle. See, we put these massive spikes in to try and force the boost up right here at around 5,000 to 6,000 RPM, which is when I'm back on the throttle asking for it all, and then it tails back off here for the rest of the run, which would be from 6,000 onwards. Yeah, so we're at £21 a boost, and we end the gear £31 a boost. All right, so that's doing what it's helping us. It's not fixed the problem, but it is helping a little bit. So first, second, now here we are, top of third gear right here. Now I've short shifted here. I didn't let it rev hard enough because we're only at 7,000 RPM. I should have waited another full 1,000 RPM, but I was keen to try flat foot. Managed to keep the foot pressed. I got as low as 95% throttle, so I'm going to count that as a win. And as you can see there, we're at £33 a boost. Gusty. Fucking mint, right? We're still adding 35% of fuel, which is less than ideal, and 6,200 RPM. So we've saved 1,000 RPM when it comes down a bit. So clutch is still in there, but I've kept my foot down. So this is the popping and the banging. Clutch is now out and we're in. We're at 4,800 RPM, so the revs have come down a bit, but we're at £34 a boost. However, if you look here, duty cycle's maxed out at 99.9%. So that is asking for every single bit of boost it could possibly fucking make. And it tried to make it, because as you'll see right here, 45.36 pounds a boost, and the boost safety was at 45. So it put me in safe mode and killed it. It just went brrr. And I was like, oh. So I then let off the throttle and it rolls off, and that was the end of that. So that could have been it. That could have been it. Could have been back into the 10s, but this is what happens when you fuck around. So we need to get rid of these ramps, these 90% sections, find out why it's adding all this fucking fuel in. Which is I've no idea why currently, but I've not done anything with the car. Find out. So we'll find out, fix that, take the 90% out, and do a bit more flat foot shifting. Alright. Now it's time for the semi-final. Well, they've robbed a race from us because out jamming's coming, but they've now said no. So, an effective bye run for Darren. Pushed him away, which is fucking silly. Getting every gear. Oh, missed one. And he's out of it. Now time for Dub Shack Racing on his scheduled bye run. Short shift that, and now he's out of it. That's no bother. Right, I thought I'd just explain what went on there. They didn't rob a race off us. Basically, Jamie had a problem with his car; it wouldn't start. So they tried bumping it, which is why I thought they were coming forward. Turns out they weren't. I believe it was a gear position switch. Didn't know what gear it was in, so wouldn't let him start. Wouldn't let him start the car. Giant pain in the arse for him, because he may well have been on for a win there, and then in the final with Danny, it could have all changed. Who knows? But as it was, Darren got the bye run, and Darren goes into the final. Here we go for the final. Danny Hyman, Darren Dewhurst. 1,500 to the winner, 500 quid to the runner-up. It's all on this. Yes, he can. 877, 909. Danny Hyman for the win. Well done, Mr. Dub Shack Racing. Right, there we have it. Danny Hyman wins. Well done him. New PB for him. That got a real hand on that golf now, Mr. No Lift. Likes to do 1,400 foot every time rather than the rest of us doing 1,320, but if he can still do that in 8.6, then fair play to him. Right, that wraps up USC for another year. Great time. Everyone enjoyed themselves. Lots of PBs. None for me. But hey ho. Next up for us will be Dash GTI in October. In the meantime, not much will change to the car. I'm going to try and find this fuel problem. Get the injectors tested and see what we can come up with. Outside of that, just be a bit more preparation for the new dog box that's coming next year. And then that's it. So thank you all very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.